All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. The deed is finally done. So after 2 years of owning this guitar, I finally changed the strings on it. Look at how nice everything came out. I cleaned all that up and behind the pickups and everything. I put my fretboard treatment on there. Look at how much darker the Jabota is. Isn't that nice? It's not as dark as I'd like. It's still too reddish for my liking, but well, look at that. Mighty 8-string. I haven't tuned it up yet. I'll do that tomorrow. But it's ready for recording now, so that's the good news. The strings, these are 10 to 74s. So here's the 74, here's the 64, there's the 54, there's the 42, the 30, the 17, the 13, and the 10. Then I got a sticker and a coupon, and for that Rocksmith course or whatever. But that looks like a sticker. I don't know if it's a sticker. Oh, it's okay. Maybe it's not a sticker. And then there's the cover. So these are 8-string Slinky, made in USA, custom nickel wound guitar strings. And then on the back, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Paul McCartney, Keith Richards, Jeff Beck, Pete Townsend, Buddy Guy, Angus Young, Slash, Steve Vai, Ronnie Wood, Joe Perry, John Petrucci, Steve Morse, John Morrow, Steve Luthather, Kirk Hammett, James Hetfield, Joe Bossama, that guy, Mick Mars, The Eagles, John Fogerty, Elvis Costello, Brad Paisley, Paul Stanley, Joe Walsh, Jerry Cantrell, Johnny Marr, Chris Cornell, God rest him, Iron Maiden, the whole band, Weezer, Billy Joe Armstrong, the Strokes, Avenged Sevenfold, Matt Bellamy, Fall Out Boy, Offspring, Blink-182, Marilyn Manson, St. Vincent, Kurt Vile, glasses falling off here. I lost where was I? I'll never find where. Okay, Avenged Sevenfold. I was at Kurt Vile. Okay, where was Kurt? Kurt Vile, Hunter Hayes, Nick, Nine Inch Nails, Rise Against, Glenn Tipton. There's a good guitar player for sure. Well, they're all so far all Perfect Circle. Paul Gilbert, obviously awesome guitar player. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Tom DeLonge, Soul Distortion, Bad Religion, Tool, Dirk Bentley, Kennedy. Well, I'm not going to read them all, am I? That's a lot. But anyway, yeah. Death from Above, 1979. Oh, that sounds cool. Day to Remember, 1975. What? Okay. Interesting names of band. Every Time I Die. What? Okay. Steve Terry, Charlie Parra, The Melvins, Rob Chapman, Barry Tooth, Jason Istel, Gijora, Rick Springfield, and 1,000 more. Join the legacy. And they are manufactured early ball, Coachella. Is it Coachella? Yeah, Coachella, California, USA. Yeah, so there we go. I will say the first the first two strings, the 74 and the 64, just fit. It was a little bit of a chore trying to get it through the back because this is a string through. Little tip whenever you're stringing it up. This thing's so heavy. Make sure that the ball seats on the there's like a little shelf in there. Just make sure that the ball seats in there good before you tighten down on it, so you don't have a double kink at the bridge. Because if you do, you're going to definitely be snapping it. So make sure it's all the way through this way. So anyway, yeah. So I'll tune it up tomorrow. Let's see how it sounds now. So yeah, I'll tune it up tomorrow. And but yeah, so after 2 years, believe it or not, that's not the longest I've ever had strings on a guitar. I've had strings on a guitar for a long time, but when I don't play live and stuff like that, I don't tend to change my strings often. I know, bad me. It looks like I'm gonna have to adjust the action just a little bit. The action from the factory was a little bit high. I just haven't gotten around to setting it up to my liking. May have to do a truss rod adjustment, just bring it back a bit. But if I can get away with just doing it at the bridge, I'll just do it at the bridge. The nut is more than high enough. It's down here because when I'm doing my soloing stuff, right? And sweep picking and all that. And it's a lot of work to, solo on a extended range guitar. But the tension is the main issues with these extended range guitars. I definitely can't go to a thicker gauge for down tuning. I'm not necessarily going to go to a lighter gauge, but I definitely can't go thicker, just due to the fact that the 74 and the 64 barely came through the, I had to retrim the 64 to get it to go through. Like, it was that tight. But I guess that's a good thing in a way. Yeah, so looking forward to recording that. So the next guitar to change strings on, okay, I think the guitar that has the strings on it the longest, don't mind the mess here, is the SG3. That's probably been on there. Those strings have probably been on there about 3 to 5 years. The SG61 reissued just a little bit behind that. Then everything else, like every guitar, with the exception of the 2 SGs and the 12 string, it's sort of working out the intonation issues with the 12 string. I just replaced the strings on that last month or whatever. But that's the next one. So when I bought this guitar new, that's the strings they came with. And so this is the next one. This guitar is so cool to play. I was recording with it the other day, and I came up with some really killer riffs. This guitar records very well. But this is the next one on the list. So these are the original strings. That's the first set of strings I've changed on it since I bought it. I know, shame on me. I'm going to get this one all new strings on it. And these are 9 to 42s. So this is kind of like my hot rod guitar minus tremolo, where, when I want to do like some severe shredding and sweep picking, this crazy, insane machine here, Mr. Shreddius Maximus Thrashius, that's his name. Yeah, but these are the original strings, 9 to 42s. I got the action where I want, so I'll put, as long as the new strings are, which I have, I just got to put them on, are, roughly the same tension. I shouldn't have to adjust anything. But this is a pretty easy guitar to adjust. It's really, you don't get much adjustment on it. You have basically height and saddle, and that's it. So you got that adjustment, little screws, and just back and forth. That's it. So there's no tailpiece adjustment or anything like that. But strangely, it's the tension is actually really good on this guitar. It's perfect, I guess. The action, you can't refine this guitar quite as nicely as you wish you could, but because of the type of bridge, so you can't, like on this Hipshot style bridge, you can raise and lower each and every one of these saddles individually, so you can get taper the strings however you want. This, although it's good enough, you've got a fixed arc, like a Les Paul or an SG or something like that, which is fine. But that's the next one to change the strings on, and this thing is like a wild stallion with new strings on it. It just sounds so lively. Even with these dead strings on it, it sounds lively. This is a great guitar. But I will be recording with that one tomorrow. First time changing strings on the 8-string. Not too bad, because I'm used to changing strings on like the 12 string back there, and that takes all day. Well, it doesn't take all day, but it doesn't take that long, but set aside some time to do it. It's just when you're winding them, especially when you're doing it for the first time, like on a headstock like that, you get used to those, or like the SG headstocks, whatever, the 3 and 3. But with that extra 2, just keep in mind when you're going to do your A string and your D string, that like make sure there's more than enough, because that extra inch or 2 right there, plus the extra inch of the scale length, or what, like there's a 26.5. These strings they're only like 30 some odd inches long. You know what I mean? So you can run out very easily. So just be mindful that you have to make sure that you leave enough string there so that you can roll up. I usually do about 2 to 3 two and a half to three wrappings on the thick stuff, and then on the thinner stuff, I try to get about 5. So, just play around with it until you get the lengths. I wish they would tell you, like per guitar, what to cut your string at, so that you can put it in and get a perfect amount of windings each time. It'd be nice if manufacturers did that rather than the guitar player have to figure it out for himself. Because, like each time you're like, now mind you, when you unroll it, here's a trick what you can do when you unroll it. Now, mind you, I cut the 8 string and 12 strings. I just cut the strings off. But for the next time, what I'm probably going to do, okay, is just mark the post with a marker, okay? So when you take it off, you can measure the actual length of the string, right? And you can count your windings back from that. So you know, okay, well, in order to get to there, it's 3 windings from the mark, 4 windings from the mark. And that'll help you so you don't have too much string on there, or God forbid, not enough. All right, anyway, there we go. So one last look at the Black Hole, as I call it. This is the darkest sounding guitar I've ever heard in my life. And that's why I call it the Black Hole, the Mighty 8 string. So, yep, got a cool song coming up tomorrow. Can't wait to get this thing all tuned up, and we'll do some recording with it. Yeah. When I put new strings on a guitar, I usually try to play the other guitars so I don't wear down the freshness of the strings. So, all right, there we go.